to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
What are we doing here? I surely don't know. Is it gonna work out? I really don't think so. Your neck, your arms, your shoulder blades, the side profile of your face. Something I won't give up, something I won't give up. But I think we can learn from each other. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. What do we do now when things aren't working out? We'll burn this building to the ground. Your neck, your arms, your shoulder blades, the side profile of your face. Something I won't give up, something I won't give up. What are we doing here? I surely don't know. Is it gonna work out? I really, really hope so. Your neck, your arms, your shoulder blades, the side profile of your face. Something I won't give up, something I won't give up.
Thanks for coming on the show today, Conrad.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so you're really interesting. You do a lot of stuff. What, you're a nurse by day and a musician by night? Tell us
Correct.
about that.
I'm a nurse. I work as a dialysis nurse, so people with kidney failure. And I do martial arts, and I do music. Music's the primary thing of what I'm trying to do to continue to be bigger and bigger. So.
Wow, how does that even work? So you went to school for nursing.
Right.
Did you ever minor in music, or it was just a pastime hobby?
It was a pastime hobby. I got the guitar when I was 16. I liked Blink-182, and I wanted the guitar, and I didn't know how to play.
No way, I love that.
I love it. So that's I got the guitar, and I didn't know how to play it, and I asked friends around how to do it, and
that was the days before YouTube, right?
That was way yeah, that was like right before the hit.
I'm not trying to age us, but
okay.
when I was 16, I was in a Blink-182 video, so we're both kind of like probably the same age.
What?
Yeah.
Which one?
All the Small Things.
Great song. Yeah.
So can you play it?
Probably not great. So I started with the guitar, and then my parents are both nurses, and they wanted me to be a nurse like right away. And I said, I want to do music, and I sucked at music at the time. Like, let's do nursing, and we'll pay for your equipment as long as like you continue with nursing. And so I just kept on writing songs, and then I became a nurse. And then I got to the point where I actually met a bouncer in town. It cracks me up. I was with one of my buddies, and he knew all the bouncers, and he would always talk to the bouncers. And I was trying to talk to some girls, but he was always talking to bouncers. Met the bouncer, and he's like, I saw you at GB3. You're doing karate, huh? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, it wasn't very good. And I'm all, okay, thanks. And he goes, well, anyway, I heard you do music. And he gave me like his business card, and he says, I have producers in LA. And I'm like, okay, everyone has a producer in LA. And he kept on texting me every day about send me a demo, send me a demo. So about the fourth day, I was annoyed, so I sent him my demo, and so the guys like it. And he's like, they want to work with you. So
and you didn't think he was that legit?
I don't think so. I don't know. Everyone thinks they know someone from LA.
That is true. So
he was insulting me about my karate. So.
Oh wow! So he was legit then, and they really liked it.
Yes. So we ended up going to LA on my birthday, And I showed the guys the song, was like, yeah, and so we made a first like pop punk album, basically.
Oh, wow, but you don't have a music video out for it, or you did?
No, no music video for that. Just a record, but yeah.
Did you go on like a tour at all for that, or?
I didn't. I haven't done any tours. I've played little acoustic shows, but I've never. I was always like, back in the Blink days in like the early 2000s, I was like a full band, and now everyone's just having background music, like the backtracks.
Right.
So I'm still trying to figure out how my sound's gonna be live. You know what I mean? Any musicians that are. It's like a relationship. Finding someone that's actually worth being in a band is really difficult.
Oh yeah, well,
know?
you sometimes spend more time with bandmates than in a relationship, so.
Yeah, and finding someone that's competent, has their own gear, that's not late, and they can work with you, that's the hardest part. And then do you mesh? Is the chemistry there?
And not being and not maybe leaving you in a year and going right now I see a lot of people are doing multiple bands. And that's something to worry about, because I hear some of the bands are getting mad because when you have multiple shows that want to play on one night and you have to choose what band you want to play with. That's like a real thing.
Polygamous relationship, right? It's like
right?
There's like that deep down, like the sister wives. There's like the deep, like, dude, he likes her more. Like, there's this jealousy, right?
And who do you go for? And then you go with the money. Like it's got to be really hard to be in a band these days.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the nurse thing is going good. That's like your career.
I've been doing it since, let's see, 2012.
Do you enjoy it? I know your parents pushed you into it, but do you actually like it?
I first didn't like it for a really long time, and I found my niche with the dialysis, which is the kidney failure stuff. And I talked to my patients. It's the same patients 3 days a week, and so like, I'm really good at it now, and I'm like fast at it. So there's no fear of not knowing how to do something. When I was working in the ER, I didn't know there's so many facets to it. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was scared all the time. Doctors are always mean and crazy. Now, like,
they're always in a bad mood.
They're always in a bad mood.
Yeah, they're not sleeping. Yeah.
They're not sleeping. They're under a lot of stress, and English is not their first language, generally speaking, and it's really hard to understand them, and it's just this whole thing. And you got to really know your stuff. Man, there's so much to know as a nurse. You don't have to be a physician. There's a lot to know as a nurse.
Wow. So you finally found it.
I found that niche. I've been doing dialysis for 4 years, and obviously in between that time, music's kind of took in the back foot. So my girlfriend, she had cancer and kids, and there's a lot of things we had to work through like crazy. But those really crazy times really brought me to the spot. I feel like I'm just starting. Like God's gonna say, and you're ready. Let's get it going. The journey.
And you had COVID. There was COVID in the world, which was that.
COVID just killed everything
for your
it's weird.
job, and then you personally had COVID. So there's two different kind of COVIDs you dealt with.
Right. The COVID thing made everything weird. Like, you didn't hang out with your friend group. You couldn't go anywhere, like at a bar. You couldn't do anything, and it was just weird. It was just at home. I was home a lot, which is good, but also bad.
Did you create some music during that time?
Honestly, I didn't. I was kind of on a writer's block. I had a real bad writer's block for a couple of years because I was just figuring things out with my girlfriend, and there's so much stuff surrounding us and so much drama and things happening, and I really had to settle things down with us and her kids and stuff like that. And now I'm like the dad, family dad. I have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old stepdad, and they're a huge part of my life.
And you don't have any kids yourself?
I have none myself, no.
So yeah, that's a lot to navigate. And then karate, where does that fit in?
Karate, I actually wanted to be a professional, and I still think if I went for it, I think I could really do it. Maybe UFC, but I was getting picked on really bad in high school. I was playing football, and I wasn't as big as I am now, and I got bullied so much. My dad stopped me from doing football in sophomore year. He's like, I think you need to do some karate. I did karate when I was your age, and then I picked it up, and it actually made all my athletic ability way better. I was way more coordinated, I was quicker, I was relaxed, and I got really, really good at karate.
Did you stop getting bullied?
I beat some kids up.
No way, really?
I beat some kids up. I remember towards my senior year, I beat this kid up really bad, and then, not really bad, I got good shots on him, but yeah, I kind of gave me that confidence to some degree, and I still deal with these conflicts here and there, but I feel like the world is like any bar or anywhere alcohol is involved, there's a confrontation, and obviously the best thing is not to get into a fight, but I've been able to defend myself. It works. The karate works,
Oh, that's awesome. What a great story.
But I love it, and I was figuring out, do I want to do music or martial arts? And I think about martial arts like constantly, so it was a really hard thing. My girlfriend Kim was like, you got to figure out, do you want to be an MMA person? Do you want to be a rock star? You got to figure it out. Because I was trying to make classes.
And both are actually very hard.
They're hard, I've been doing both about the same amount of time, about 17 years, I think, for both music and martial arts. I would do martial arts for 6 months. I would take a break, when I was in college, and then I would go back 6 months, and that would be this back and forth thing. And I still train. I love it, but I'm getting a little older, and I don't know. It's kind of slowly passing, but it still can be competitive with martial arts, which I love. Yeah.
So have you done some low-level competitions?
Yes and no. Basically, all the guys that were getting ready for the fights, I would be their main training partner. So they would come in, and they're serious about their training 6 days a week. They're fighting everybody. They bring Conrad in, and I was so good at that level where I was really good competition for them. So I was a really good sparring partner. And I always based it off of I know I'm not going to get ready for a fight, but if I can do well against these guys when they're at their prime, when they're training, I'm only like training one time a week, a little hungover maybe. I said that means I'm solid. That means I can compete at that level. I didn't have to do a fight per se, like actually schedule a fight. I know where I'm at. I know I'm good enough to beat these guys. I know I can beat it. So I always had the mentality. I know I could do it if I really wanted to.
That's awesome. Okay, so music, karate, nursing, and what I love about this whole story is that you always stayed with the nursing, because a lot of people do give up everything for their dreams, and you're helping people, and you like it now.
I like it, and I really do. Like, I love my patients. I really do like nursing.
Did you lose patients?
All the time.
How was that? How was it to deal with these long-term ones? I know in the ER, I'm sure you did it every day, but with this right now, how do you deal with that when you are spending so much time with them?
It's a really weird feeling, because basically in dialysis, these patients are there 3 days a week, and you see them all the time. So Monday, I work Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They have Monday, Wednesday, Friday patients, and Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday patients. So I'm usually MWF. And it's weird, because it's like sometimes patients that are like 40, 50 years old, and then they're in the hospital, or something happens, and then like, oh, they didn't come today, and then what happened? Oh, well, something, they died. I'm like, what? And it's really crazy, and then you have to continue your work, but you have to take a second and like, dude, did you hear about this person died? And then you just kind of take it in for a second, and then as you're working, because you can't just stop, you work through it, and it's like you're still thinking like, man, I can't believe that person died. That's really and you just talk to them about their kids, and you just talk about your life.
You know them,
and they know me. They know me about my life and what I'm going through, and they ask me every day, hey, how's your girlfriend doing? How's this doing? And all of a sudden, it's like, most people have death in their life, but it's like a very few and far between when you have a lot of deaths. But like at this job, you do have a lot of them. They're very sick. They're one of their major organs failing, and they have to have this machine to survive. They're going to die if they don't have it. So it is tricky, and it's like you get attached to them to some degree,
Wow, that's crazy. That's a lot. Do you ever write songs about it?
A new song I'm kind of working on. It's kind of about living your life to the absolute full, as cliche as that sounds, living your life to the absolute fullest, because you're going to die. You're going to die really soon, and we don't know when it's going to be. And so every moment you have, don't take it for granted. And it's obviously, when you're in the hospital, when you get into a car crash, when you have those things, of course you start becoming more aware of the consciousness in your life at the moment. But every day you work, I have to go to work, I have to do this, and you get into a rut, and everyone does it. And then one thing happens, a car crash, or someone dies, like, oh my God, like I need to really pick it I'm not in a hospital right now, and you start becoming more grateful. I think it's really important to be very grateful for everything. Like, this is a beautiful studio, I'm so happy to be here, I have these nice clothes on. This is great, I'm talking freely, I can say whatever I want to, I have the power to do that. There's a lot of gratefulness for that.
Especially because you just got over being sick for like pretty much 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're very grateful right now that you should be well.
For real. I actually, before I got sick, I hurt my back really bad at work, and I was out. And I was actually literally laying on a wrestling mat at home on my stomach or on my back for like 80% of the day.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. I was on workman's comp.
That must have been very hard for you.
I was crazy. I want to work out.
You're a very active person, can I ask what happened, or you can't really talk about it?
Okay, no. I was taking the patient off their machine, and I'm just tall, and there'll be like chairs like this, and the patient sits here, and they have like a catheter, which is like, basically it's a tube that goes to their heart, and they connect it to a machine, and the blood gets transferred to get cleaned. And so we have to change it and clean it up. And I'm just leaning constantly, and I'm always in really low compromising positions, and it's hard when you're tall. And I felt it in my lower back, and then I kept on going, and then I was walking around the house like a grandpa. My girlfriend's like, why are you walking like that? I'm like, I'll be good in the day. And it wasn't good. And then I had to go to workers' comp and all that stuff.
That'd be hard, yeah. When you do that, you would just shake it off, and it never shook off.
Right. Obviously, when you get sick, when you have an injury, you have a lot of time to think. You have a lot of time to think, and that's really good or bad, depending on how good your mind is. But I thought about a lot of things. I thought about what I want to do next, what's my life. And normally I have the kids, I have my girlfriend, I have work, I have so many things I'm doing with martial arts and music. Sometimes, I think things like God or the universe, it pauses you. You need to calm down. You need just stop.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I totally know what you
I'm
mean.
sure you've had injuries. I know you've had just a situation recently, right?
Right.
It makes you think. And then it's like, what do I want to do? Like, what's important to me right now? What am I going to do after this? And how hard am I going to hit it after this? And it kind of gives you, sometimes it gives you a new fire. Even though you might have lost like a few weeks, you're going to come back with a really crazy fire next. It's like you get so driven and hungry for it again,
So what inspires a lot of your music?
That's a great question. Music. So I could say whatever I want to say in music. I grew up really, really Christian, and so a lot of things in my thoughts I couldn't say or feel or behave a certain type of way. With music, it's just a song. It's like people can't take it seriously because it's like a song. It's a lyric. It's nothing. People can't even hear the lyrics sometimes. I think the biggest thing is expression, of expressing who I really am, dancing and being really free. Being free is like one of my biggest goals, is to completely feel free. So what I write about, a lot of my songs are just me growing up in my early 20s. That's like a majority of my songs have been written like 20 to 30 of like going out, hooking up, drinking for the first time, and feeling that experience, like how is it? And just seeing life through a lens and just expressing that and seeing the details. What do the 1 o'clock parties really look like? What's really happening? At the end of the day, when everyone goes home and goes to sleep, like how are people really, like what are they hiding? What, is it really all that glitter? And so there's all these deep down things and subtleties that you get to write about that people don't really talk about on the surface level, but it's really deep down, like what we're all about. That's kind of, I guess, what inspires me. I'm inspired by life, essentially. Sounds kind of corny, but that's what I write about.
Did you feel kind of sheltered growing up?
Very. Very sheltered.
I think we grew up in similar.
Yeah.
So now having that creative expression is like, and that must be cool too to have a lot of those first experience. I think a lot of people write about that and people like hearing about it. It is a fun lens to see the world through.
Absolutely. Like with the writing process, we'll see if this would stay on the show or not, but I was writing a song called Out Loud, and it's about a guy not expressing how he feels about a girl, like sexually, basically. He wants to like make out, he wants to do the thing, he wants to go there, but he's very scared because it's like almost like a nice guy syndrome. He's scared to express himself because he's like, I don't want to go over the line, but it's like in reality, it's a natural thing, and it's not like a gross thing, it's more of like a natural progression of things. I had a lyric, I was in my house and I was joking around. I'm like, I want to have a party in your bedroom, and you and I are the only ones invited. And I was like, oh, that's like cool, I like it, and I kept it. And I was like, and I have it in the song, but like my voice is soft, and you don't take it, it doesn't sound grotesque, or it's not polarizing when you first hear it, because you're just, oh, that's a nice song, like, I remember the first time I showed my parents that, and I'm like, oh, that's nice, honey. But it's like expressing myself, and it's a joke. Music, I'm so literal, and like, I'm so used to like books, and this is how it is, and my girlfriend's like, you gotta just stop, you gotta be free and relax. Music and dancing and these arts, it's not contrived, and it's not thought out, it's really expressing who you really are. It's like a life form almost. You're expressing who you are. You can't explain these things. You can read as many books and go to school all day and learn about notes and all these things and chords, and all that stuff doesn't really matter when you're really expressing it and you're in the zone and you're flowing, and these things just come out. You know what I mean? So.
For sure. So where can we follow you to hear all your songs? And then you are going to be kind of performing around town. We want to see you perform. So tell us where we can find all that.
Okay, so my band name is Street Corner Prophet, Prophet. Okay. I have an Instagram, Conrad, with 2 Ds, 182, but that's where I post all my updates. But I'm on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere there's music.
Okay, with the Prophet name, that's where you can find you on Spotify.
Correct, Street Corner Prophet.
Okay, so that we can find you on that, and then everyone will follow you on Instagram. That's great. Right. And then on Instagram you will tell us if you're going to perform, like if you perform at the Starving Artist or wherever.
Correct.
Awesome. Well, this is great. I can't wait to hear you perform, and thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
said that soon the fighting will be close at hand. Don't believe the church and state and everything they tell you. Believe in me, I'm with the high command. Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me calling you? Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me calling you? Calling you. There's a gun and ammunition just inside the doorway. Use it only in emergency. Better you should pray to God, the Father and the Spirit, to guide you and protect you from up here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me calling you? Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me calling you? Calling you. Pledge allegiance to the flag, any flag they offer. Never let out how you truly feel. Chase the children quietly, for one day sons and daughters will rise up and fight where we stood still. Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me calling you? Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me calling you? Calling you. Yeah. Can you hear me? Running.
Been so long since I've seen her, can't keep a memory away. She was Colorado bound, said she needed the space. I joined a 4-piece band, 'cause I wanted to play. No matter how hard I try, my heart continues to break. She lives on Mountain Time. She lives on Mountain Time. Sure can feel the love under the hot stage lights. When the show is done, it's a long, lonely night. Sometimes I call her up, but she just lets it ring. There's only so many songs you can write, songs you can sing. She lives on Mountain Time. She lives on Mountain Time. I didn't know how much I loved her. I guess I was too blind to see, too blind to see. I didn't know how much I loved her. I guess I was too blind to see, too blind to see. Been so long since I've seen her, can't keep her memory away. She was Colorado bound, said she needed the space. Sometimes I call her up, she just lets it ring. Oh, so many songs you can write, songs you can sing. She lives on Mountain Time. She lives on Mountain Time. She lives on Mountain Time. She lives on Mountain Time.
Kurt, you're impressive. Every time you come, you bring a different band, you bring a different sound. I'm digging it. Like, you're eclectic.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so where'd you find this guy? Where did he pop out of?
Featherbone. He came in and played bass on the band I'm in called Featherbone. And we just started, we hit it off really well. So we've been playing about 4 years, off and on together.
So how long have you been with Featherbone?
About 8 years.
And what's that kind of sound?
It's more classic rock, but it's more songs people don't usually hear from a classic rock band. We're doing Smooth Operator and
Oh, I like that. Okay.
and stuff like
Little
that.
Sade and
Our keyboard player Dave Wallace is in a tribute band, Santana tribute band. So we play some Santana stuff.
I love it. Oh, I need to come and see you guys sometime too.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
this is
Stevie
cool.
Nicks. We do a lot of Stevie Nicks stuff.
So what a great collab right now, you guys. I've heard both of your sounds, and it sounds really nice.
And we both write songs too. That's another thing that attracted us.
So
to work
what's
together.
some original work?
Mountain
like?
Time. That's my
Mountain
last
Time
one I
was-
wrote.
yeah,
I wrote that about a month ago.
No way. That's really nice. I like it a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a
And
good
so
song.
you didn't have any part in writing that one?
No, he just came up with it, and we kind of sat down together and worked out guitar parts to it.
Do you ever sing some of his originals?
no, but he sings some of mine.
I love it. You guys have great sounds. Okay, so where can the viewers go? I know you're terrible at social media. Are you any better?
Yeah, he's better than me actually.
Oh, but
we are at 559 Saturday night. This Saturday night.
And I'll be there, so that's a double
Yeah.
whammy that's a triple whammy
And
for everyone.
the
to
whole
come out.
band will be there, and it'll be cool. Play 3 hours, and Mountain Time will definitely be in it.
Yeah.
And Silent Running, and stuff like that.
How's it going when you work with multiple bands? And I kind of talked about this a little bit with Conrad. How does that work? Because it's kind of stressful because people want you at the same time from different bands. How do you guys?
Well, we try to schedule them, apart, from each other. Right now, the Gruberries are on hiatus at the moment. We're kind of gearing up and rehearsing up for a brand new album. We're planning on going down to North Hollywood in February to record with Fernando Perdomo of Echo in the Canyon.
Oh yeah, you have some great connects down there.
Well, yeah.
I'm
yeah,
supposed to go down there with you. When's the Wallflower thing happening? We're supposed to make that happen.
I don't know. I'll tell him about that, and you can come down.
No, I love it. I love how you're going down there. You're doing some real studio recording. Because not a lot of people go down to LA to record. Everyone's like recording here. So are you going to go down to LA sometime and record?
No, I have my own little studio in my house.
Yeah.
So you guys go back. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, we recorded a
yeah,
CD.
we did a
not too
CD
long ago.
about a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
actually.
at your place. Yeah.
So, and now we're working in the middle of another one. We've got 3 songs pretty much ready to go.
So right now, you guys having multiple bands has been okay.
Yeah.
It's worked out.
Yeah. In fact, we've been in each other's bands and stuff, and we formed this new one out of that. So.
Yeah. Everybody in the one we're in now is all ex-Featherbone people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we all stayed in contact and say we're putting a new project together. And
So do you guys have your own social media that we're supposed to follow for this band?
We're kind of in the process
it's
of
brand
building
new
it right now. Yeah.
we've
so this
actually
is
only
brand new
had
band.
2 rehearsals with the other band. We haven't even had time to do anything. So,
So it's
we
time to
played
make a page.
last Thursday. We played at 559 for the Pelco deal, and they didn't even know we were bringing a whole band, and we just all showed up because usually it's just me and him. Surprise.
So we took that band. So the Gruberries is still the Gruberries for the most
yeah.
part. Wait, I know
Yeah.
you replaced a couple members. You don't have Shiva or Brandon or.
Yeah, we've had a couple changes. We have Larry Melcher in on drums and Jen on bass, and I'm carrying the guitar parts.
And I did it for a while.
And Rick was in
About
the band
5
for a
months,
little
I
while.
think it was, yeah. So it was fun. Different.
I know. How do you switch gears like that? I'm so fascinated by this because it just seems like so much work, and you guys make it so effortless.
When we started doing like this, and even then, I said, just play the song and I'll just noodle. Just tell me the key and I'll just go for it.
So you were improvising. the
Kind
whole
of
time.
improv, and then we bring it together and come up with sort of more of a standard.
And it's fun. They're all good people.
arrangement.
So.
So what Facebook or Instagram do we follow to find out what your schedule's like, or where I could see you guys performing live?
Well, right now, kind of in the midst of putting together a Facebook
But
page.
you have your own Facebook. Can we just
Yeah.
follow that too? for
Yeah,
now?
just follow
And mine, I
Kurt
have one,
Gruver
too.
and Rick Calhoun. Yeah.
Okay.
Rick Calhoun, I have one too.
Awesome. Because right now everyone just goes on Sparkle's page to see when you guys are.
Well, we'll be stealing them off of there.
We hashtagged you with tonight's.
I usually promote when you guys are come on to, especially the firefighters. No, that's good that you guys go to these places and you perform a lot of On the Edge. What are the other places you guys perform at?
Well,
On the Edge, we've both
Edge,
done
yeah.
that. I've done Papa's Place a few times. Gazebo Gardens, we've been out there. In fact, we played that together.
Oh, how fun!
We were up with Featherbone. We were up at Queens Inn in Mariposa.
Yeah.
I mean Oakhurst, excuse me.
Then we went to Sonora with the Gruberries
Sonora,
and Mariposa. And around. So yeah.
So we need a whole California tour. When's that
Yeah,
happening?
exactly.
Come
So
on,
like we were in
Kurt.
Whenever we
Tulare
can
too.
put
We
it
did
together.
Barmageddon in Tulare. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
yeah.
good. That was
Oh,
fun.
that was
That was
fun.
a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe after the LA, when you go there and record that, we could put together.
Yeah.
And I'll just market it on my Everything Smart.
Yeah, we'll do it. Okay. You could bring the whole band in if you wanted.
Yeah.
They'd all come in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. And so where you guys are playing this Saturday. After that, what are some other things we can expect?
Well, wherever we can kind of get booked, we're kind of putting the feelers out there and
Yeah.
talking
And
to people. And,
When you release this, like the song that you just wrote, Mountain Time, where can we hear that? Is that like on Spotify or Apple Music yet, or where is that going to go?
It's well, once we get it recorded. I have 3/4 of it done already.
I'm excited that
Yeah.
it's only here right now. That makes me feel kind
yeah,
of
you're the
excited.
first
I'm
one.
kind of selfish
actually.
on that.
We
but-
played it live a couple times.
Okay, but now if people want to watch it and hear it all the time, we have to like rewind this, rewind that.
The arrangement's a little different because it's not acoustic. Because we have
Yeah.
some electric guitar going in it and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
more of a full band.
Where does
sound.
the music usually go? Because you have your CDs for a while. I have one of the
Right,
group.
yeah.
So when it goes out there, once it's fully recorded, where do you guys usually put it?
Well, we got-
SoundCloud?
Yeah, it's on SoundCloud. It's Apple iTunes. We've got it on Spotify.
Those are the
Pandora.
Those are all the basics.
All
and
the
then
basic.
I was in a band called Acoustic Highway for like 10 years, and we did 3 CDs, and I just sold them out of my car. I probably sold 1,000 of each one of them, to be honest, for local.
oh, that's really cool.
It's
Yeah, we
fun.
take
And
them
it was
to
all, and it
shows.
was all the first 2 were all original
Yeah.
songs. So it was 12 songs, original stuff.
Imagine how valuable that is. Just have one of the like original and like we can't hear it anywhere else.
Yeah, well, it's been played on the radio in town a couple of times, and then we did on the last one we did with them. We did 3 covers and 3 original songs. So, but it's the way to go.
Now, if we want to book you for a party, who do we get a hold of?
Either one.
Either one of us. Yeah. Yeah.
Facebook. We're on Facebook all the time.
And you're actually really good at getting back to people. I'm sorry, I haven't tried to get it. I'm sure you're good too. I just haven't worried about that. I'm sure you're really good. So no, that is good to know that we can go to you and you guys can do parties and all kinds of things.
Absolutely. Yeah, just
we
let us
text
know.
each other every day.
And you guys do weddings and all that stuff too.
We could.
Yeah.
Well, what I like about it too is you guys can do covers and original. I like the duality
Yeah.
of doing both. So because sometimes people
You kind of need
want both. Yeah, you kind of need both.
yeah.
So I'm glad that you guys
It's
do
good
both.
to see the reaction on people's faces when you throw. Because you don't tell them it's an original usually. You just let it rip, and then they go, "Wow!" And then after a while, they see you again the second time, they'll start singing that same song. It's
Yeah.
like it's cool. It just makes you, oh, this is cool.
Then when they request it or something,
And then they
you know
request it,
you've-
it happens too,
you
and that
reach
happens
somebody
too.
with that, yeah.
Means you're on the right track.
So we can never listen to your music on a streaming service. Is that what you're telling
Not
us?
yet. We probably
He's
will.
gonna.
With this
Kurt's
one,
gonna
we will.
make you do it.
Yeah,
I
we're
already.
going to get it done.
We'll do it. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming to the show, especially you. But it's great to have you as the first time, first of many more. And Kurt's
hope
always
so.
welcome back. So thank you guys for coming on my
Thank you.
show.
Yeah.
I'll get your Facebook information. And do you guys want to take a picture? Okay, we are live. Jason Zlatkus. So I came on your show, you're on my show. How's that?
That's great. That's sort of how Hollywood is, right? And we always, trade off. It's kind of a good thing about Hollywood. Help your friends.
I love your show. So it's every Thursday. It's so tell our viewers about your show.
Yeah. So my show is, it's a show about acting, and we talk about the harsh realities of being an actor. It's called Coffee Breaks Thursdays, and it airs every Thursday at 11 a.m. And we tape it live right on Facebook. So if you want to see it, it's on Facebook at Coffee Breaks Thursdays with Jason Zlatkus. And then now it's on YouTube. Once we tape and it shows, it goes on YouTube, and it's YouTube, of course, .com /at Coffee Breaks Thursdays.
That is so cool. And so when did you start this? So was my episode on YouTube too? Because I didn't see that link. Or is that
No, not yet, because I'm still behind on uploading them as actors often are.
Okay.
So your episode's going to be on there soon for people to see that. But right now they can see it on the Facebook page. And your episode is one of my highest rated episodes. So it did really, really good for us, for me.
Well, I try to represent. I try to pimp that out there. You know what I mean? Whatever I can do.
You do. You have a big fan base, and that's great. It's nice that you share it with us.
You have really great guests. Like last week I was watching, and how did you get these great guests?
Thanks for asking that. A lot of them are my friends, people in the industry. Some of them are just somebody that I see, doing their thing. Somebody who's actually out there putting in the effort, putting in the work, and I'll ask them to come on the show. If I think they're interesting enough to talk to, then I'll ask them to be on the show.
Wow, no, that's really cool, and that was really good information. So, who was your guest last week? I was watching it.
Ross Turner. And, what's funny about Ross is I've been a fan of Ross for so long. I've watched his commercials. I've watched his work. And to me, I'm just like, man, that guy's such a great actor. And then I met him at a holiday party at a Friendsgiving. And I was like, oh my God, you're Ross Turner. And then him and I became like really good friends. And then, I had him on the show, and now him and I have the same manager. So,
wow.
Yeah, it all kind of worked out.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, he gave great advice about auditions. I was like, I never knew that. That's really cool to like hear what his take was on getting auditions and how he books them, because that was really crazy. He goes through a lot of work just with the whole he said it was like a mini director.
Yeah, he certainly does. He puts in a lot of work, and that's what they say, right? If you wanna make it in this game, you have to go above and beyond, or you have to put in, like what I call like an Olympic level of being an actor. You have to really go for it, and he does. And he, like you were talking about, he had tips that I'd never heard before, which is one of the benefits of hosting the show, is I get to ask questions I want to know the answers to.
You get to steal everybody's tips. I love it. That's what you gotta do. You gotta take a little bit of everything and like apply it. That's the whole point. It's like an education.
Right. And that's funny to me, because I used to be like, why is that guy stealing my moves? And why is that person stealing my moves? And now I'm like, oh, I got to steal that guy's moves, So. Right.
No, I'm definitely going to. I was so sad. I taped an audition the night before, and I'm like, I wish I'd listened to this guy. I would have totally used all of what I had heard in that audition.
Right. This week I had an audition. I was thinking about Ross the whole time. I was thinking about, the things he said. And, I had a reader, but I was like, should I have just taped it myself? And, those kind of things.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I know exactly what you mean. So, tell us about how things are going on. You said the holidays are a little bit of a slower time in LA.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm landing jobs, and then they want to, we're going to shoot in February, or we're going to shoot in March, or, after the holidays, that's when we're going to start doing things. But recently I've just heard that, I guess, pilot season is coming. And I guess what I've heard now is pilot season starts like the day after Christmas. So hopefully, and I actually have my first voiceover job the day after Christmas. So hopefully, the end of December might be packed. But prior to that, it's been hard to, nobody wants to shoot right now. Nobody's doing any traveling, those kind of things. So it's definitely been a slower time.
I can't believe you're only at your first voiceover like project. You have a good voice. I imagine you would be like booming in that industry.
Thank you. I don't submit a lot of the time for voiceover because I don't have the rig. I don't have the professional microphone. I don't have, and so it's expensive to do voiceover work. But this one that I did land allowed me to record over my phone. And they brought me in for 2 callbacks in a studio to do it. So, yeah.
That's intense. Wow.
Right. So, yeah, voiceover is just as hard to get as any other job.
I've been hearing that it's a very competitive, field.
Whenever I'm at conventions or whatever, they always one of the questions is, how do you get into voiceover work? How can I? And it's like, well, you kind of have to be an actor first. And then, because now, even with a big movie, they're all, they cast them out to like big name actors. And so, even the voiceover now, you have to be more than just a voice.
So you were just at LA Comic-Con. My producer was there, and you were there. I love it. I love the photos. Tell us about how that experience was.
Yeah, so one of the nice things about being an actor, being in the industry, is I do get to go as a guest to these events. And LA Comic-Con, what a blast! What's funny is I almost didn't go. I was like, I don't know if I should go because I'm jaded to cons. My first business, I was in the toy business. And I've done so many conventions, selling toys, being a part of the toy business, that I'm kind of burned out on cons. But since they had me on the guest list, I decided I would go. And it was so cool. William Shatner was there. Billy Zane. I was like, I talked to Billy Zane, and for me, that's like a big deal. And he wasn't really nice, but it was a big deal to talk to him because for me, Zoolander, I come from a model background. I was a model first. And so Zoolander is like a documentary, and he was in Zoolander. And so for me, I go, oh, hey man, you should listen to your pal Billy Zane. He's pretty cool. And
That is so funny.
So I got to meet a bunch of people that, for me as a kid, were a big deal. Or Billy Zane. I mean, I was like 30 when Zoolander came out, but but to me, people from the industry that I like really enjoyed, and there were a lot of people there, and it was fun, and it was way bigger than I expected.
Did you get to meet William Shatner?
I didn't get to meet him, but I had a press badge because of my show. I had a press badge, so I was able to get pretty close. I didn't get to meet him. He's being shuffled around. He's got a line a mile long to sign autographs. He doesn't really have time to sort of meet people, but we did take a big selfie, and I got to be in that. So that was pretty cool. That's the closest I've been. Yeah.
That's really cool. No, I wish I had gone last year. I was gonna go this year, and then I just had other things, commitments. But I thought this year seemed better. Did you go last year?
I didn't. This was because I haven't lived in LA very long.
So this is your first year. Well, you picked the good year. From what I saw, you picked the right year to go.
It was, yeah. And, I've been to San Diego Con, and this was like San Diego Con 2. There were so many people. It was insane. And the lines were insane. And the parking was even worse. Like, the parking was crazy. At one point, I was like, why am I here? But as soon as I got into the convention, man, all that went away. It was magical.
So did anybody geek out over you?
Not really, okay. So somebody that I knew or somebody who'd seen me before said, oh my God, you look so familiar. And, and she's a girl who's in Black Panther. Her name is Janisha Adams, and she was in Black Panther. And I had met her at another event, and she remembered me. And so that was kind of cool. But no, nobody sees me and goes, oh my God, you're you,
I did when I saw you on Halloween at the Halloween party. I was pretty geeky about it. I was like, yay.
You're like the coolest though, You're cooler than everybody else.
Okay, so what's coming out, Jason? What do we have to keep our eye on to see you coming out?
So I've got, I'm a commercial guy. I make a lot of commercials. I got booked for this commercial where you take your medicine, and it's because I'm that age now, where you have pill bottles and crap. So it's for this thing called Bud Cap Timer, and it reminds you when you're supposed to take your medication. And you look at the bottle, and it's got like a clock on it. And so I do, and I do a lot of commercials for random projects. So I have that coming. The voiceover work you're not going to see. That's an industrial thing. They're not going to show it in public. But
you'll get to use a little bit for a reel. Are you ever going to make like a voiceover reel now that you're kind of dabbling it? Can they give you a little bit?
I wonder if they will. I sometimes with that project, because I signed an NDA that's like, one of those you owe us like $40,000 if you leak the project and all that kind of stuff. It had real money like values on it, how much you would owe if you did certain things. So that one, I'm not sure what they're going to give me out of that. But in coming up in January, February, I have some movies I'm going to be working on. I don't know when they'll come out, but that's the deal of making a film. You're lucky if you see it.
Anything you could tell us? Any special actors that you can give us a little something?
Not really. I don't have anything terribly exciting in that respect. I don't know who the other cast members are yet. That's sort of still up in the air. I've only agreed to be in films. I haven't. I don't have any good dirt.
Well, what about the roles? What can you tell us about? Do you get to be a good guy for once?
Yeah, well, yes and no. One of the roles I'm really excited about. I'm like a boyfriend, and the woman is actually the bad guy, and I don't know it.
Is it a Lifetime movie?
No, it's a pilot, so maybe. It's a show. I think it's supposed to be a series, but I don't know. When that's shooting again, it got something with the director and all this stuff, like movies do. They get moved around. And then I have another one.
Do you get to die at all anytime soon? Any death scenes?
I die in another movie called The Obstacle, where I'm the obstacle. I'm a tennis pro who hits on a married woman, and the husband ends up killing me. So you know, that's exciting. And I have that, and then I have another movie that I haven't been given the entire script for, where I'm the father of a weird bird kid.
Weird bird kid.
Yeah, I create him. I create him in a lab. He's the dad of a kid who was killed, and he's obsessed with bringing his son back. And the DNA, and he's mixed, and the child is like sort of malformed, and he ends up looking kind of like a chicken. And he's like a creature, and I play the dad of that creature, an obsessive, I guess, geneticist, if you will. And so that's probably my most exciting thing.
Wow, that's really good. You know, okay, when you first told me about the dead bird, I was thinking of that one movie. You know what I'm thinking about?
Hereditary.
Well, no, when the kid was holding the dead bird, and he's like, he gave me and he was like a blind kid.
Oh, you're talking about Dumb and Dumber. He sells the kid the bird. Yeah. Yeah. No.
Not like this at all. This is a serious movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah. This is more like Pet Sematary. Yeah.
Wow. No, that's really crazy. So you play the dad?
Yeah.
So you're the one that's obsessed with the birds.
Well, I'm obsessed with bringing my son back to life, and he ends up just sort of being a bird. Yeah.
So this is kind of like almost like a reincarnation.
Right. It's like his DNA. And so it's like, yeah, that's what I mean.
Like
it's
cloning
like,
almost. Okay, I love this. This is
right. Right. So, and that hasn't filmed yet, but that's coming up.
That is really exciting. That's some meat and potatoes right there.
That's like the project I'm most excited about. I think it's like a cool cult role. It's like a cool fun role. And, you know, so I'm really excited to do that.
Wow. Okay, what can we see now that's streaming?
The movies I have, well, most of the stuff I have out that you're going to see is commercials. You know, if you watch commercials on Amazon or on YouTube, I'm in stuff like that. But you can see me in A Killer Rising, which is I play an FBI agent in that movie, and also a movie called Near Enemies, where I play a World War II soldier. And those are both on Amazon Prime currently.
Wow, that is so cool. That's exciting. I want to see you be the soldier.
That was a good role. That was a fun role. And fun fact about that, I couldn't be there the second day. And so, because I had 2 days on that set, and all my dialogue was shot on the first day. And the second day, I get killed at some point, and I couldn't be there. So they had somebody double my legs and play my dead body. So the dead body is not me.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting. I get to see you as a dead body, but that's not you. I'm going to look at the little clue.
And it's really only my legs where I'm a dead person.
So is this your first stunt double?
No, I had a stunt double on a commercial for Dolby. They wanted to ride a jet boat underneath the Golden Gate Bridge, and I said, I ain't getting on no boat. So they doubled me. They have somebody with a bag over their head, and it's not me. Because I'm the main bad guy in a commercial for Dolby. It was like it was only my second commercial I'd ever made.
Jason, you don't like boats? What's with this? Are you afraid of the water?
I am afraid of the water. Yeah, it's a weird thing. I've been afraid of the water since I was a kid, and I go in the ocean, but not too far. Like, I just get freaked out by what's out there, you know.
So what sign are you? A water sign?
I'm Scorpio, so I don't think that's water.
Okay. I think you're a fire sign, right? Like, okay.
I don't know.
You're in LA.
November 1st.
You're in LA. You're supposed to know these things. That's an LA thing. You're supposed to know your sign and what that means.
I've never been interested in that astrology too much. You know, like I like cryptozoology better than I like astrology. You know.
Oh no, I think that's great. I'm totally with you there. But yeah, like I'm a fire sign, and lately I've been kind of like freaked out about fire. So I kind of was like wondering if you're a water sign, that was going to be really interesting if you're freaked out about water.
Right. No, it's just a random human like fright that I have, an unfounded one, because I know the science, like your chances of getting attacked by a shark are like 1 in a million and all this, you know, you have a better chance of winning the lottery. You have a better chance of becoming an actor, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, all of that goes out the window once I'm near the water. Then it's like, oh no, I don't know what I just stepped on, but I got to get out. You know.
Oh my gosh! So tell our viewers all about your show. And so, are we supposed to subscribe to your YouTube channel? Because I haven't done that yet. Because I didn't know.
I've only started announcing the YouTube channel because I haven't uploaded all the episodes yet. So your show is the first really to hear about the YouTube channel. But yeah, I would love it if people subscribed. Again, it's youtube.com/@coffeebreaksthursdays. And they have the @ symbol. YouTube is doing this whole like tag thing now. So it's @coffeebreaksthursdays. And I would love it if people subscribed. And again, the show is about, for actors or aspiring actors, working actors. There's great tips. Like you were saying, the guests they come on and, I let them tell us how they do it. So it's wonderful to get them on. And you were a guest and you told us how you do it. And we talked about your legacy and all the things you do. So, I encourage them to go on and to watch your episode.
Well, I love it. No, I love it. I love the way it is. And I love the people that you've been having on. I just was kind of like, how do you get these people? Because you're getting some pretty big names there that have worked with big names. And that's really fun.
Yeah, I just, I'm lucky to have a great group of people I surround myself with. I'm lucky to know people like you in the business. I really just, it's all really just luck. I feel like the universe speaking to me about that. I try to surround myself with people who are doing the deal. Not people who talk about it, but people who actually do it.
No, that's well said. That's great. No, we all gotta listen, subscribe, and I'm subscribed to the Facebook, so I have a little reminder, and it just pops up, and it's like, oh, Jason, it's a good time. It's 11 a.m. on Thursdays.
Right, and that's your good time for a break. Good time for coffee.
It really is. That's a perfect time. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Jason. We gotta see everything you do. We're not IMDb. Hey, don't you get credit or something if we look you up on IMDb?
If you click on my IMDb, it does boost my rating. You can, if you want to Google my name, Jason Zlatkus, you'll see everything I do. You can see articles. Some of my films are on there.
What was that magazine you were just in? I saw you. What magazine was that? You were just in a magazine.
I think you're talking about LA Note.
Maybe you were in a suit and tie. You were all chic looking and
I'm always in a suit and tie. It seems like, I've been very lucky. I've been doing a lot of interviews. I just did 2 radio interviews. I did have a magazine come out. I think the one you're talking about is LA Note. And then, I had another one. Oh my God, I can't even think of the name of it.
You look like Mad Men in it. That's what it was. You look like Mad Men.
You know what's funny is one of the commercials I've done is I did a Mad Men parody where we recreate the opening of Mad Men, where he's sort of falling and sitting in a suit and they show him walking, and so I've actually done Mad Men commercials.
That is so. I know you're perfect for it. I think you're great for it. And then what's your Instagram? We got to follow you all on Instagram. What's that? @JasonZ the Actor. Okay. And
because
you're good about posting
my last name,
right? You post when things come out, right? You're good at posting actively. When you're going to do something with something coming out, you tell us, right?
I do. That's one of my gifts, social media. Waste a lot of time on social media. So, yeah.
No, but it's good. We need to know. I hate when people are like, oh, I'm not going to say. I'm like, well, we need to know. How are we going to know if you don't tell us what's going on?
Right. No, it's been a good marketing tool for me. So I definitely use it @JasonZ the Actor on Instagram. And Instagram gets my really good stuff. Facebook gets a lot of stuff I want my mom to see. So, I put it on there. Things for my mom,
We do the same thing. That's super funny.
Right. Instagram gets the pro shots or the ones I think I look really good in, that kind of stuff. And Facebook gets just about everything I do. So honestly, it's more flooded,
Well, thank you so much for coming on my show. We're going to follow you everywhere, and I really appreciate you coming on during this busy holiday season.
Thank you, Sparkle. You're wonderful. I love your show. I love you. You're great. Thank you for having me on.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh, I must confess, dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.